This is the most beautiful looking pedal ever. It says Blues Driver, and the color is also blue. But is it good for blues? So, when I first got this guitar, which was my first electric guitar ever, I, along with it, also got an amplifier. It was a Maxtone brand amplifier, and there was a switch, a button to turn on the overdrive, OD, and I used that for a few months, and then I got my Zoom pedal, and it had like 40 different sounds, amp slash pedal emulations on it. Like it had most of the classics, and back then I didn't know of these classics. Like it was just distortion sound, overdrive sound, like clean sound, and reverb, chorus. That is what more it was. I didn't care about which model amps or which model pedals was I using, and I had a sound that I in my mind was a bluesy sound. Later came to know it's a Mesa Boogie sound, like Mesa Boogie for blues. But that was my blues sound, and I used that for like a major part of my life, like until like what I will tell you later. But I used that for most of my life, and then after that I got the Line 6 amp. Now I was still relying on the Zoom pedal because some of the sounds was better on the Zoom pedal, but of course the Line 6 amp had really good sounds on it. Don't say it didn't sound good. It sounded really good. It had a beautiful crunch sound, a beautiful blues sound on it. Like the tone was literally called blues. So like, and the beautiful clean sound. Like I was always on these three sounds: the clean, the blues, and the crunch. Like I never went into metal and insane, and I don't even remember what the other one was. Like I remember it had 6 different sounds. They were called amp models, but these 3 were the one that I was always on, the first 3. So the blues, that is what I would use for blues, because it said blues on it. Now there was a time. No, let's after that. Let me talk about another time a little later. So after I came to Bangalore, I couldn't bring the big Line 6. I'm talking about a 30 water. So like you can't put that on a plane. So I only brought my guitar, and I brought my Zoom pedal. Of course, that's easy to carry, but it felt like a downgrade. Like I had to go back to the Zoom after that. So I didn't have all my good Line 6 sounds anymore, and I think by then like I had begun to love all the sounds, and I think the Zoom was also slowly getting like worse and worse, like showing its age basically. Not the sounds didn't get worse, but like things were, it would not be very reliable all the time, and I think mostly it felt like a downgrade. It was nothing to do with the sound or the pedal. Like it just going from Line 6 back to no amp and just a pedal. Like I could plug into my interface, but it felt somewhat like a downgrade. And now that brings me back to something that happened a few years before that. And there was this one time when I was watching a video by, I think, John McLaughlin, and he had this mm, part where like he would like play very shreddy, more fast licks, and then he would go into more bluesy licks, like more bends, and then now I think I know how he did it, but back then that felt like magic to me. Now I know he was probably just using his volume knob to kill the gain on on the faster parts. So like the faster parts, it would sound very clean, and he would probably play it softly, and then when he was doing the more bluesier stuff, like he would probably turn his volume knob up to get those creamy sounds. So that was probably how he was doing it. But I asked on probably that same video or some forum. I think probably the same video. Like, how is he getting these sounds? And someone replied to me. Now the answer I was expecting was a technique. Like, I thought it was a technique, and I thought it would be something like that. Like maybe hit it lighter, hit it harder, maybe volume knob. Like that would have been the answer to give me. But the the comment that replied to me is said, check out this pedal called the Blues Driver. Blues Driver? Blues Driver? Blues Driver? That sounds like the pedal was made for me. Like, it's a blues driver. So at that, like, and this is I'm talking way before, I think, when I was still in college. Like, so we didn't have a lot of money back then. So I looked it up, and obviously it was way above what I could afford. Like, it was like way more than what my monthly allowance was, like how much money I would live for with the whole month. Like, it was double of that. So there was no way like I was getting that. And again, it was not such a necessity back at that time. Like, I still had the Line 6 and the Zoom. Like, but then when I came to Bangalore, like, okay, and then like, now coming back to that point where I was feeling like, oh, I wish I had something better. Then, I mean, the Blues Driver still felt pretty expensive. Like, maybe at that time I could afford it, but like at that time I didn't have gas, so I wouldn't splurge as much as I do now. So I wouldn't just immediately buy something that expensive. Like, um, it's about I think it's a little over $200. That's what I remember. So I had seen a few videos, but probably not enough videos on it. Like, I mean, I was listening with my eyes, and remember, it's blue in color. Like, it looks so beautiful, and it says Blues Driver. So on the Facebook Marketplace, like, this pedal showed up, and at that time I had never ever purchased anything used, like, from Facebook. Like, I had never ever purchased it. So, and the offer was like really good. I think he was offering about like 75, no, not even 75, like, uh, I know the exact value, but in USD it was 5,000 Indian rupees, which in USD should be like probably $60 or something. Like, I'll put the exact number here, but that is what he asked for it. And like, it was a no brainer. Like, this was also during the beginning of the pandemic, so like, he actually delivered it to me. I tried to bargain a little. He did reduce the price, but then the delivery was, how are we gonna get it delivered? And he said he has a car and he was coming that way or something like that. So he'll just drop it off at my place. But he said, if that's the case, yes, I have to pay the original amount. And I said, okay, that's fine. I was happy with that. So because I would have had to pay for the delivery otherwise. So like, now there's no delivery charge for me, and I pretty much pay the same, um, you know, like pay even less compared to the delivery. So mm I got it. Now there was a honeymoon period, of course. Like like I remember just playing with it. I remember Layla was the first. No, I think Sunshine of Your Love. That was the first riff I played as soon as I connected it, and after I don't know how long, but a month or two, I realized the gain is too much. Like there's so much gain on it. I'm gonna play it right now, and just listen to this gain. If I go to the, this is on the neck pickup, by the way. So if I go to the bridge, so there is a lot of gain, and I'm using single coils. So like I started realizing, okay, it's it's not exactly sounding good now. One big the thing that a lot of people say on the internet is like you have to dial the gain back, like you have to keep the gain at 3 o'clock. Okay, but then if that is the case, why didn't boss make it like that? Why isn't 3 the maximum gain? Like if like 75% of that of the gain that it provides is useless, like why even have it? Like why not make that the maximum gain? Like because like this is, remember, this is my first pedal ever, so I like to crank it up. Like I still do. Like I think whenever the tube screamer, like I always have it at full gain. Like my gain knob is turned to the full, and my tone knob is at 0 right now, by the way. So I haven't even shown you what happens if I make the tone knob up. Now this is, that was with the tone knob at max. So you can see that it doesn't sound bluesy at all. Like yes, it does work when I have the gain a little lower. This is at gain at about 3 o'clock. This almost sounds clean. So if I go to 12 o'clock. Oh, by the way, what I meant before was not 3 o'clock. I meant 9 o'clock. So before it was at 9 o'clock, and now the gain is at 12 o'clock. Okay, it's much better. Okay, better on the neck pickup. If I roll the tone knob down, much closer to like how I would like it to sound. So there's too much gain on it. Like then this was during while I was doing. It was more of a like I kind of slowly started noticing this thing, and just before I made the plans for this video, I looked it up on Equipboard. There is literally no blues player who uses this pedal. Like of course it could also be because of the fact that this pedal was made in 1995 or something, and most of the blues players were like either too old or already long left the earth. So and a lot of blues players are straight into the amp, like people. Like I don't think BB King used any pedals, and the ones that did use drive pedals, like they didn't use a blues driver. Like Clapton, I think what does Clapton use like when he's driving? I'm not too sure, but I think Tube Screamer, like Tube Screamer seems much more common for the blues, even though it's green. Like so funny that the blues that, okay, so the pedal that I have fallen in love with is the Tube Screamer, and it's green. Like it's funny that for blues you need a green pedal. Man, I think now this might be, I might be pushing it a little too far, but I think this is a bit of a false advertisement, like calling it the blues driver. Like, I think that's a little bit of, like, I think I got scammed a little. Like, I don't want to push this narrative too much, but somewhere deep in my mind, I feel like I got scammed because it's called a blues driver and it doesn't do blues well. Now, it does other things really well. Like, it's a really good, I think it does grunge really well. It should have been called a grunge driver. And I've also seen on YouTube a lot of people, like, there was one thumbnail which scratched out the blues and said metal. So that means this is a metal pedal. Like, it sounds like the Rat or the DS1. Like, oh, it doesn't feel right to call it a blues driver. So it's I think it would be a really good pedal for metal, and I have found good use of it when playing more grungy kind of music. Uh, so, what are my future plans with it now? Remember, this is my first pedal ever, so I do have an emotional connection with this. Also, just look at this. It looks so beautiful. Like, it almost feels like a candy. Like, it looks so beautiful. Like, the color is like, I don't think there is another pedal as beautiful as this. Like, I think the Tube Screamer comes in a close second. I think the Fuzz Face is also beautiful. There are some other beautiful pedals, but this has to be the most beautiful pedal ever. And that's why I don't think I'll throw it or like sell it or anything. Like, I'll probably have this and it will come to use once in a while. But if I'm playing the blues, probably not on this. Maybe for this video we'll do that. We'll use this on max gain. Like, we'll crank the gain up and tone, maybe not the tone. That is too much. But we'll play the blues using this. But the backing track of that will be on my Patreon. So if I haven't yet offended you and you haven't already disliked the video and you kind of sympathize with me a little bit, and you want to support me and you want to support the channel, please do go to my Patreon. I already have lots of backing tracks and lots of alternate takes of my songs, chords of my songs, demo recordings on my Patreon for $10 a month. You can get access to all of these. And if you just want to show support, there's also a $5 tier, and for that you will get access to my sample packs. I have a sitar sample pack, and I also have another sample pack called Synthetic India, where I'm playing lots of Indian phrases on different software synths. So for the $5 tier you can get access to these. Please do go and support me on Patreon. Now let's head on over to the blues driver blues.